another Golden Hour Drip episode. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I have two of my friends here. I have Grace and I have Nick, and they recently started their own podcast called Jacob's Living Room. And so I thought it'd be fun just to come on here, and today's topic is going to be Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. We're going to be discussing all of the streaming platforms, what we think about it, some of our favorite episodes, and honestly, just have some really good conversation. So, Grace and Nick, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Hey.
Okay, so why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about yourself? Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Awesome. All right, Grace, take it away.
So I'm Grace. I'm a digital media production student right now, and when it comes to TV shows and movies, I really like horror things, I like comedies, and I like things with a little bit of suspense.
I'm Nick. I'm a vocal performance major, so I sing a lot. And I really enjoy all film. I'm a film buff. I watch movies.
Wow, so it sounds like we have some experts on today. Now, which do you guys prefer? Is there more than 3? I know there's Netflix and Hulu, Disney Plus.
You've got
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Peacock.
Peacock.
That one has all. I don't really like a lot of their shows. I do like Superstore though.
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, don't they have all of the Nickelodeon shows?
They do, and they have one original movie, and I think it's Curious George.
Really?
Right. Yeah, there's quite a few platforms. I'm sure there's a few more that I'm missing.
A lot of them were failing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of them are going to stick around. I feel like the only ones that are going to stay are Disney, Apple, and Netflix.
Now when Disney Plus first came out, I was so excited. I think a lot of people were excited too. I don't when all of the places, and I know in your episode you talked about fronts for your businesses, when Family Video, and Blockbuster and all these different stores. I mean, and we know they're closing down, they're not just being able to keep up. So what do you think about that? Okay, are we gonna only stream, or are we gonna somehow buy movies, or is that a thing of the past? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's going to be a lot like music. Right now, vinyl records have surpassed CD sales, and vinyl records have surpassed all cassette sales, of course. But for vinyl to come back the way it did, I feel like DVD might come back, but it'll be on a nostalgia basis, not so much need for it.
Well, there is a weird subculture of people who buy boutique Blu-rays.
I'm sorry, what? What's a boutique Blu-ray?
They're over expensive, which Criterion, if you're listening, lower the prices, my guy. But it's this company called the Criterion Collection, and they just release movies that probably wouldn't get released otherwise, older films and foreign films. A lot of the Netflix ones that got Best Picture nominations got released on Criterion, just for the weirdo boomers who like Blu-ray, like me.
I guess, okay, that was a weird sound, but for Blu-ray, I don't really see that much of a difference between regular DVDs and Blu-rays. We have a Blu-ray player, cool, but it's not that hype.
I used to not think that, and then I watched a DVD on a 4K TV, and I was like, this looks like it was filmed 100 years ago. I watched the Italian Job on my 4K TV and was like, this looks like just pixels.
Because as DVDs, you have normal DVDs and then you have the Blu-ray. I think Blu-ray was set for the bigger TVs and for the higher definitions, and then you have the normal DVDs, which were set for kind of a basis for all of them, but it doesn't have the same effect. And with Blu-rays, you get the digital download, which I think is what you're really paying
that's
for.
Nice.
Yeah, especially because that's bigger than DVDs right now. Is digital.
And the special features are nice too. On Netflix, you can't watch behind the scenes stuff, and there are nerds out there who like that. DMP majors who love to watch special features.
Yeah, you gotta know what happened behind the camera, what happened behind the lens.
Who the director was, man. What they're thinking about.
Exactly.
I've watched, I took one film class, I would not say I'm not an expert, for a month. It did wreck my experience watching movies because once like I took the course, I did well, I got an A, and going through it, it's like, okay, like this is a piano effect. This is like their transition, and it wrecked it. I had to like reroute my brain. I was like, I'm not watching this like for the what the heck you guys are doing. Like, does that happen to you?
It starts feeling weird when you like watch like 3 movies in a day, and then you're just like hyper focused on just like the technical aspects that you stop watching the movie.
Yeah. And it's not only just like the types of shots. Like I think of especially like teen and kid shows. iCarly, for example, I think of the continuity. Like there was one episode where you see one shot with a character had like wires and stuff on him, and then the next shot as he's walking away, it's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've noticed because of hyper focusing, I've noticed like continuity errors, and I've noticed like the different types of shots and how every story, I heard this thing that like every film story can fit into like 20 something categories, and it's all the same storyline over and over, which is really like interesting.
So do you think that takes away from like Netflix, like people aren't gonna watch it because they're all the same, or is that why you have like the different, you have a subscription to 3 of them, and I think Netflix is a lot of movies and Hulu's a lot of shows in comparison.
Yeah. In like just basic catalogs.
Mm-hmm. And I think Netflix does a really good job with their original series too. And they piggyback off of older series also. Like I just finished Breaking Bad for the first time, and El Camino was a Netflix original, which was basically the story of Jesse Pinkman, and they did it in such a way that it mimicked the original show so well. I think that Netflix is ahead when it comes to creating like, spin-offs.
They know where their audience is.
Yeah.
Like when they make a sappy rom-com, they know exactly who they're like targeting, and they know exactly what they want.
Logan Lee, no,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm like, rom-coms, give it to me. Like those are my fave.
They've been getting like big name directors to like David Fincher. His like next 3 movies are going to be Netflix exclusives, and Martin Scorsese did one.
Yeah.
Did a 4-hour Netflix
I love
movie.
Scorsese.
That was insane.
That is crazy. I also like sometimes you think like, okay, like Adam Sandler, all of his movies are on there. You're like, well, he like had an exclusive with Netflix. Like he's filming, or at least putting all of his movies onto Netflix. And so when you think of like an artist, and I know both of you are interested in film in some aspect, and so when you think about that, like maybe this is like an avenue to pursue, getting a contract with one of these streaming platforms, because I mean, heck, sometimes I think like when I'm doing my mini vlogs or YouTube or any of these things, like when I'm watching a movie, I notice like the wiggle of a camera, you know, and I can notice like that vibration. And it's surreal, almost what you're thinking about, because it's like, okay, I'm no longer looking at the actual scene, I'm looking at like the movement, and so then I don't feel as bad for myself, and I'm like, well, heck, if they can produce a movie, you can produce a YouTube video. Or if you think about like shows that were once YouTube, it's like not British, it's a Canadian one, and they're like rednecks.
Letterkenny.
Oh my god. my best friend will literally like shoot me right now. But Letterkenny, that's his favorite show. But it started off as YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that with Netflix, especially, they're taking things that people already like, but they're also creating like original shows like Stranger Things that go off of nostalgia. I think that people are so influenced by things that they've already have an interest in, things that they've already seen, that they just want it to keep going. Like, there's not really original content. It sounds bad, but there's hardly any original content when it comes to films because so many things have already been done.
Absolutely.
So it's just taking the same stories and spinning them, and Netflix does a really good job.
Do you think that because we are, recycling so much content, do you think that there's an opening in the market for something new?
Yes, but it's just a matter of what is that new thing, is the real question.
Yeah, I mean, like, they do, like, The Queen's Gambit was, like, the best show I watched last year, and I felt like the only thing that it was derivative of was just like the Cold War, because it felt like Rocky IV but with chess.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. But I find it crazy that Netflix has gotten a lot of like the auteur directors to like hop on, but then HBO Max makes all of them so angry.
Yeah.
Because the Warner Brothers deal, where they're like, all of our movies are going to be put straight to HBO Max, and then Christopher Nolan was like, this is an awful thing. And Quentin Tarantino was like, this is also bad.
Yeah.
Like, put your movies on streaming services so everyone can watch them.
Right. So what platform do you guys use the most? Like, which is your favorite? What is something that you're gravitating towards?
I'm a Netflix person, personally. But I think it's because they have... I don't watch too many shows, and the shows I do watch are kind of like cinematic, I guess, in a sense. Like Black Mirror. It's shot, like each episode is almost like it's a movie. And all of their movies on Netflix I'm super into. But, yeah.
I've been watching a lot of HBO Max recently, because they've got like a lot of older stuff. They have like all of Charlie Chaplin's filmography right now, and that's like pretty dope for a nerd. But I usually I'll sit on Netflix for like 3 hours trying to find something to watch.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm into Netflix. When I was in high school, I remember going to a friend's house and we couldn't find anything on Netflix, but now I feel like they have just broadened the shows and movies that they're on. But personally, I'm on Netflix because I don't pay for it, you know, like Garrett's parents are paying for it, and then I stream it literally. We were talking about this last weekend. We have it on our TV, I have it on my computer, and I have it on my cell phone, and I could get it on my tablet, you know, and that is several devices, and I'm not in their household. I'm, you know, basically, you know, when I was just a girlfriend, I was just like some random girl, like streaming their Netflix, you know, had their password. What do you think about Netflix, like, really cracking down on, they're no longer, and I think they're trying it in different countries right now, where they are actually limiting the amount of other devices that you can use, you know, like, there will no longer be, oh, like, yeah, I'm, you know, if I gave my password, or not even my password, but like Garrett's parents' password to Grace so that Grace could watch something, you know, what do you think about that, like, niching down? Like, they're losing billions of dollars, like, every single month. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it should be okay? I mean, that was like one of the hype of Netflix is like, you can get it on all these different tablets. Like, your kid can be watching something that they want to watch, and you can watch what you want to watch.
My thing is, I know you can only use one screen at a time, but I think it'll help make them a lot more money because people are so reliant on Netflix. Like, my whole family uses it. My brothers watch a lot of Netflix. I watch Netflix. My sister does. So if we have a house of like 6 people and we're all trying to watch Netflix, I think what they're going to end up having to do is go on a screen by screen basis. Like, you pay, it'll be cheaper per screen, but once all the screens are added up, it'll be more expensive than what my family's paying. And I think it's good for them because they're losing money with just putting so much content out there and then having to pay out the creators. But I think, as much as I don't want it to happen, I think they're best for business, and it's something that I'm gonna end up buying anyway.
I don't think it's gonna stick.
Really?
I feel like people are gonna be too pissed about it. Or like Xbox, when they were doing the Xbox One, was like, hey, so you know how you have used games? It's not gonna work on your console.
Yeah.
Like, all used games aren't going to work. Just like, sucks to suck. And then everyone got mad and then bought PS4s, and then Microsoft lost a lot of money
Oh my goodness.
doing that. So I feel like if there's anything that is going to kill Netflix, it's like dumb decisions. And like, I get it, but like, all streaming services are losing a tons of, like, Amazon. I can't imagine how much money Amazon's bleeding off of Prime alone, like Prime Video, because like,
I use Prime Video, actually. I forgot about that.
no one ever talks about like,
Yeah.
man, I really liked Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was good, but like, no one ever like talks about it. Like, they're like, like you'll talk to someone like, what do you like to watch on TV? They're like, oh, The Crown, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gonna say like, I can't. Maybe The Boys.
Yeah.
That's like the one
Boys
where
is good.
everyone is like, I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
But I can't name any others.
Off of Amazon Prime. Okay, what I like about Amazon Prime is there's a lot of like 80s, 90s, 2000s movies. That's my grind. Like that's what I watch all the time. Like those are the DVDs I have just because like that was like my childhood.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like repeating things and whatnot, like it's almost a sense of security for me because I kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's,
Yeah.
but it's also like that's what makes me happy. I'm not interested, and I feel like some movies that are coming out, like they're just trash. Like why would I want to watch something that is the same storyline but different, like almost like the Walmart version of something better?
Yeah.
You know, so why not revert to those older films that are just as good, you know, and have matured and have, you know, they're still good. I still watch them.
I do think Prime is like a fun game when you turn it on, just to see what movies are on there.
Yeah, there are a lot of good
'Cause,
movies
like,
on there.
It's random.
Yeah, it is very random.
Like one day I went on there and Princess Bride was there, and another time it was a German film about Hitler, and I was like, what? Why is this on
The
here?
difference.
I think that there should be a platform, and you might not relate to this. You might relate to this. Hallmark movies. I think there should be a
Yes.
platform for Hallmark movies.
They really should.
If Amazon Prime took like Hallmark movies, it would really boost their whole platform so much.
Someone's gonna scoop them up.
They need to.
They need to. Now, like you say, like all the storylines are different. You know, it's like this businesswoman going to a little town and like falls in love. But, you know, like the demographics, like how many people, especially myself, like I know that they're cheesy, but if it's Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving to like New Year's, that's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else to do.
And they just like they're just like pulling them out.
Yeah, they crank
Just
those
like-
movies out so
Like
quick.
it's just like there's like 8 billion of them.
Yeah, there's so many.
Like
they get like the 25 days to Christmas.
Yeah.
They come out with new ones every single year.
someday like Netflix is gonna realize that it's cheaper to just get all of Hallmark's movies than to try and make Hallmark movies.
Yeah. It depends. I'm just wondering which platform's going to scoop them up. And I don't know if a platform already has, but that's something I'm waiting for is where are the Hallmark movies
If
gonna
anything,
be?
it might be Paramount.
Yeah,
Paramount
they
might
might
have them,
Yeah.
which that's gonna fail soon.
I don't know. I haven't watched much Paramount.
Is it not good?
But
Well, it's just like no one's getting as like a premium subscription service for Star Trek.
yeah.
Like no one. That's like or like
Yeah.
no one is getting that specifically because like I want to watch just SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
Peacock might be fine because The Office has like such a huge following.
And they picked up The Office.
Yeah, because they were like, all right, the Netflix, everyone loves The Office there, so they'll obviously love it when we steal it from them.
Yeah.
And also Friends is ours, or Friends is on HBO actually.
I think Peacock has a lot of the sitcoms. I think it's like an age range thing because my parents absolutely love Peacock. And one of my film professors, even talks about Peacock all the time. It's like, I love it so much. It just has the basic sitcoms. So like, if Friends is there, Office is there. There's also
It's all
Superstore.
of NBC stuff,
Yeah,
I think.
I think so.
And I just think that's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's like a thing that exists.
Right.
Well, like, and so many people, and definitely like the older generation, when I think about my dad or I think about my aunts and my uncles, you know, last Thanksgiving we went over to my aunt's house and they're like, oh, put the game on. And she's like, we canceled our service. Like, we're just watching Netflix, HBO, like, why I can stream somehow. She can get like the game on her phone. And she's like, then, you know, my cousin, he just kind of hooks it up to the TV. Not exactly like, you know, legal or anything, but, you know, streams it somehow. And they've been doing it like that. And, you know, my dad, the only reason he has, you know, cable is because he watches the news. Like, he likes the news and he likes Ag Report, which is an agriculture show. He's like, nothing else. I hate watching everything else. They're boring.
I think about sports is like really where streaming's gonna get big because a lot of services now, they won't play certain sports games in certain areas. Like, my mom's a huge Bills fan from New York, and they didn't play many of the Bills games at restaurants around the area back home in St. Louis, and so we'd have to stream it. And I think about like the Fight Pass for the UFC, where they have the Fight Pass where you can watch all of the fights, you can not have to do the pay-per-view thing. And then my boyfriend has his friend's account, so they all watch fights all the time. And when is football going to do that? When is baseball going to do that? When is hockey going to do that?
It's easy to forget that Disney owns ESPN.
Yeah.
And so their bundle with like Hulu and ESPN Plus is just incredible.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I also, when Disney came around, I was like, holy smokes, like this is what I'm looking for. Because personally, and I have not got Disney Plus because I know that I'll just sit and watch all the freaking movies all the time. Like, I cannot have that for my productivity right now. I'm waiting until maybe, when I have a baby, then I'll be like, okay, like we can do this.
Yeah.
Like, in that aspect. But like Disney movies, they're so rooted in my childhood. And then when they say, oh, if you get Disney Plus, like you'll also get ESPN. And once you also get a subscription to Hulu.
Because Disney also owns Hulu, which is crazy.
That is crazy. And when they just like scoop up all these things and it's like, okay, like why would I get Netflix if I could get Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN? And they're trying to like maybe fight against that because Netflix, is kind of at the top tier right now.
Yeah. And I know Disney's going to be fine just because they're Disney.
Right.
And they own like everything.
They own ABC also, don't they?
They do.
ABC.
And Freeform.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. But like, I think it's crazy that Disney Plus coasts on The Mandalorian, and like that's just like where every subscriber came from. Was
not
like,
my family.
It was a lot of people were like, I want to watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And then they did, and then like, well, I have the subscription now.
Like,
might as well watch Lady and the Tramp. Or
I love Lady and the Tramp, man.
My family was waiting to get Disney Plus for a little bit because my mom was like, I don't know if we'll use it. Netflix already has all these things. But then the boys were like, we want movies. And my mom was like, okay. And then so she got Disney Plus. But my dad, he did what you were saying. He was like, I don't think we're going to get Disney Plus. The Mandalorian came out and like right before it came out, he was like, okay, Star Wars, I got to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it day one.
Really?
Like day one, and I immediately watched, like even, it was so buggy. It was so broken day one. It was awful. But I watched that first episode of Mandalorian and I was like, all right, I guess I have this now.
Yeah.
But I think they're shooting themselves in the foot with the Premiere Access thing.
Yes, I actually saw something about that. Maybe it was on TikTok, but someone was like, why should I pay extra for a movie that's coming out when I'm literally paying for a subscription?
Like, I don't want to pay $30 to watch a bad Mulan remake.
I know.
Well, I think it's done a lot for their movie sales though, because Mulan was one of the most watched new films of last year. And that didn't really include all of the box office sales because it came out at the height of the pandemic. So there wasn't many movie theaters open, but it counted sales in Disney Plus and subscriptions that came with that $30. So everyone who bought it, that counted as viewership. And for that to become one of the biggest viewed movies, I think it's making them a lot of money.
I think it's kind of weird though, because they're not legally required to announce how much money they made off of it.
Right.
Like, there was articles about how Trolls World Tour was the biggest movie on the planet, and there was really no proof.
Yeah.
Like yeah, we can all probably guess it's a kids movie during a pandemic. Like, parents need something.
Yeah.
They need like their kids to be doing something so that they can like go like have a minute.
Yeah.
And like, of course it's gonna be huge, but like no real numbers exist for like how many people have been watching it and how much money that they made off of it. So I feel like that's just gonna be like the thing now, where just all movies are gonna be like, oh yeah, we're also on HBO Max, and yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong is also in theaters, but like, we can say that 8 billion people watched our movie because like you can't prove us wrong.
Right.
Well, I also think, if you're rationalizing it and you have 3 kids, under the age of 6 or whatever, and you're like, all right, like, they want to go take, you know, the Trolls World Tour. Okay, am I gonna cart my 3 kids to the movie theater? Am I gonna listen to them scream on the way there? Am I gonna have to buy them popcorn, buy them soda, pay
$1,000?
yeah, basically,
So
you know,
expensive.
and they want like the little kid box. They get their own popcorn and their own little snacks. Well, shoot, I just spent $60.
Right.
You know, is it worth it to me to just like, oh, okay, we'll sit at home, we'll purchase this stupid $30 movie that we can you watch it more than one? Sure. I know sometimes with
Maybe.
Amazon Prime, you know, you can only watch it within a period
Yeah.
of time.
I think it's only like 24 hours, but I might be wrong on that one.
Well, there you have it. You know, you get 24 hours and you're like, well, there's $30.
You're
But
like,
is it
you
worth
buy
it to
the
me?
movie on Amazon Prime and
True.
then just like
But you have
it's
to wait
just
for
like
it.
you own it.
Yeah, you do have to wait for it.
Oh,
You
like
don't get
on
it
Amazon
for that.
Prime Video,
Oh, yeah.
where you can just like buy it and then it's always just on your account that you can just like watch it.
Yeah, I did that with Yellowstone, I guess. I was like, well, yeah. First, Garrett and I bought season 1, season 2, and then for season 3, it didn't come out until December 5th, and I was like, well, like we had a discount with our wedding because we had a registry on Amazon, which was super, super nice. But we got a discount on everything that we bought that was still left in our registry. We got a 20% discount on top of like all of our like gift cards that we got. And so we're like, well, shoot, we'll just order it. But we couldn't wait for season 2. So we bought season 1, season 2, and then waited for the box to come with season 1, season 2, season 3. So like they're doubling up on some,
Yeah.
you know, where people are like, okay, I want the hard copy. Or, you know, with Trolls, maybe the kids loved it. And you're like, well, crap. You know, we paid
Now
the $30.
Now I got
And now we have to
Now I gotta
purchase
spend
the DVD.
$26 for the Blu-ray. I hate that Blu-rays are so expensive. So I own so many.
He has a whole shelf.
I do have a shelf, and it's bigger at home. Because I was 16, didn't have a girlfriend, and I had to spend money on something.
So you bought.
So I just bought an ungodly amount of Blu-rays and DVDs.
You know, there's always that weird hobby for the
Yeah.
kids that don't have girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
My my cousin, before he got a girlfriend, he had Nerf guns. He had like 100 Nerf guns, like big ones, small ones, like all over. Brody, my little brother, he just turned 12. He got it for Christmas last year. All of like the guns, because he basically got a girlfriend, and so he doesn't play Nerf wars
Yeah.
anymore.
You
so
just get rid of
like
all of them.
shipped them to our house. But when you're talking about like the viewing experience, when you're like sitting down, do you think that with Netflix, Hulu, like that the home experience, and especially with the pandemic, like people are investing more in like a system to like play their Blu-rays or bigger TVs?
When it comes to like entertainment systems, I've actually talked with my audio professor about this. They're like making new, it's not really new, it's been around for like a year now, but they're gonna release it to the public at some point, this newer, higher definition surround sound. And like it makes you like feel like it's
Vibrate?
rumbling. Yeah. Yeah. I love the concept of like bigger surround sound because I think it's so cool how they like map audio from place to place, but that might be the nerd in me. I think people have really invested a lot though in home entertainment, whether it's
Especially
TVs
with that stimmy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Back in February, you know, we moved into our new house. We were like, we need a TV. We had like a smaller TV, and it was okay. Like I don't even know dimensions. It was this big. Now we got a 75-inch TV, and you know, like we had a really hard time finding one because in February that's when like a lot of people were
Yeah.
getting their stimulus checks, and we're like, we just bought a new house. Like we're just trying to furnish this thing, but a lot of people were, you know, making those big purchases and making their TVs a little bit better, or maybe buying furniture. Like furniture is way back ordered right now. Like I don't know if you are trying to like move into different apartments, but if you try to like order a couch, like it's back ordered for like 6 months, you know? And do you like, people just want to have a nice living room, I guess, right?
I see it with entertainment systems. I think about like kids stuff, like kiddie pools and trampolines. Those were out so quick. And then big TVs, if you don't get them whenever, as soon as they're on sale, you're gonna have trouble
Yeah.
finding them.
I chilled at a Guitar Center like near like the second stimulus around then.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of the guys, and he's like, yeah, there's going to be an influx of albums. Of just like, everyone just would come into the store and be like, I need everything to record an album.
Oh my goodness.
And people, like, I remember there was a guitar that was like a dream of mine because it was like $10,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked into the store and it was gone. And I was like,
Oh my
wow,
gosh.
people are actually like spending their money.
Yeah.
Because I feel like had this not happened, no one, that guitar would have been there by the time I'm 50.
I mean, now that I've had more time at home and more time like just in my dorm room, I've spent a lot more money on my own music production stuff. Like I bought Ableton, which I would have never bought if I didn't have the time for. And then I've got my own microphone now. And I feel like people are putting their money towards their hobbies, especially with the stimulus and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that's, I mean, it's good, or do you think it's bad, or what do you think? Like, in a couple of years from now, do you think that maybe these high price things, or maybe low price, you know, like streaming services don't cost that much, do you think that they'll be on their way out once we get back working and doing all these things, or do you think that they're here to stay? I mean, people are relying on them, enjoying them.
I think that, and it's starting to be proven with the, what was the like 10-second one? Quibi.
Yeah.
Because Quibi failed like that.
Mhm.
It was so fast. I feel like the ones that weren't big names before, or the ones that aren't backed by like multi-billion-dollar companies, when the pandemic's over, are going to die. Like Paramount Plus is out.
I feel like it might be different. I think that once the pandemic is over, these streaming services will be able to remove more titles without it being like noticed by the general public. Like I feel like people can get rid of things that they're paying a lot of money to keep on their site or on their platform, and I think it'll actually help them, because I know with some platforms, every stream they have to pay whatever company so much cents. And so if you're getting a lot less streams because people are doing their own things, you're not paying out as much to other companies.
What do you think of services? Because, I mean, and we think about this, okay, sometimes it's easier to watch a show than a movie because it's not that commitment, you know?
Right.
Like, a movie can be an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, plus for like some big movie buff, like film, you know, something extravagant. But when you have like a show, it's like, oh shoot, like this commitment is 20 minutes, 30
Yeah.
minutes. What do you think about like TikTok? You know, that is such an instant gratification when you're scrolling through. You're like, okay, a minute is the longest that you can record on TikTok. And people are doing, you know, extravagant things. It's interesting. It's keeping up with the pace. And then you think about, okay, maybe your favorite creator isn't on, you know, Hulu or isn't on HBO, and so they're making content somewhere else, and so obviously like they're gonna have split time there. So do you think that, you know, Netflix will maybe start getting YouTube creators on there? Do you think maybe not? Do you think it will just be specifically for films? Or like, how do you see that panning out? Because with apps getting bigger and bigger, and you know, if you go on Facebook, you're gonna see videos on Facebook, or you know, and it's maybe people that you know, or you can follow their storyline.
Yeah.
And actors and actresses, like, they're almost like you can't ever touch them, right?
Yeah.
You never can meet like your favorite movie person, right? Unless you pay $1,000+ million, not
Yeah.
really, for like a back pass to like their stage or their show or whatever they're doing. So do you think that maybe that could be an opening in the Netflix market, maybe some more content, Hulu, whatever?
Well, I know that because of the pandemic, like Twitch
Yeah.
has blown up.
Yeah.
It's been insane. Like, there's this guy named Ludwig who just streamed for 31 days straight,
Oh my goodness.
and now has the record for the most subscribers
Yep.
of all time, which was held for 3 years
Yeah.
because Ninja played with Drake once. But this dude's making bang.
Yeah. I think that people are huge fans of convenience, whether that be with streaming services or anything else. And I think TikTok having such shorter videos is helping them grow. I think that
Yeah.
YouTube is one of those things with convenience, and I think about it from an advertising standpoint. You don't pay much to be on YouTube, and creators don't get paid much to put their content on there. Like, people can put their content on there, still have ads, and not get any monetization unless they turn it on. And it's actually something that's being kind of researched on by a lot of mass communication people, is about how YouTube may actually overtake Netflix in the future.
Really?
Because they have so much content, they're producing original content, they're coming out with shows. YouTube Red might not surpass Netflix. That it won't surpass Netflix.
It will not.
But everybody watches YouTube, not everyone has Netflix. Everyone has watched an ad on YouTube, not everyone has paid for Netflix. So YouTube's getting so much money that I think at some point they are going to be able to grow and keep growing, especially with Google owning them and helping develop that company.
Which is very funny. There's an article that the Yahoo executive, like the CEO of Yahoo, was like, Google paid too much for YouTube. Then 5 years later, YouTube was
like blown up.
Because there's like 1 billion hours uploaded every 5 minutes or something on YouTube.
Really?
It's an insane number.
And
it's free.
Yeah, and with monetization though, and with how many ads we're watching, and they do such a good job with like YouTube bumper ads, like the ads are 6 seconds. So you're not sitting through long ads, but they're paying so much money to put those ads, like advertisers are paying both the creator and YouTube so much money just to have those 6-second ads at the beginning of a huge video.
But it does open itself up to like catastrophe.
Yeah.
Is I don't know if you remember the adpocalypse, where there was ads on videos that should not have had ads, shouldn't have been on YouTube, and it got exposed, and then YouTube just started pulling ads from everybody.
Really?
They were just kind of like blind firing demonetization.
There were things that went against YouTube's like guidelines, and like I know that they had ads and people were like, why is this advertisement representing this action?
No, yeah. And they responded by just like
pulling them.
seemingly randomly, just demonetizing everyone that they could like find.
I forgot about that.
And that was like a big thing.
It was
people's careers were ruined after that.
Yeah.
And that's the only problem with YouTube, is that since they're so much at the advertiser's whim, because unless you're doing like a live streaming thing on YouTube, whenever you subscribe to someone, you don't pay for anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's just like following someone on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, there's necessarily, you're not paying for anything. And when you bring up YouTube Red, it made me kind of laugh, because every time it pops up, you know, like I click out of the app accidentally, or if I get a phone call, or I like shut my phone, it's like, want to pay for it? I was like, no. I'm like, what a joke. I was like, hell no. Like, to have it like, ooh, I'm, you know, gonna close out of it. No, like, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
And I remember back in middle school, you know, like, shoot, you just pull it up on a different browser, listen to your music, do your homework, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, and yes, like, if I'm watching something on my phone, like Netflix or something, sure, like, it's gonna be open, I'm focused on it, that's why I'm on YouTube, whether it's, you know, to listen to someone's vlog or to, you know, watch something or another. I'm not going to be necessarily listening to music on there, so I don't really need to close my phone.
Yeah.
You know, I have Spotify, there's so many other streaming, and now we're getting into music in that aspect, but, you know, like, why? Like, why should I pay for something? It's free, and honestly, like YouTube, I think it's, you know, when you're looking at the business part and you're thinking, okay, if you want to have a successful business, like, don't have inventory, don't have overhead costs, like, it's just a platform for creators to come and, like, put it out. So what is YouTube actually, what's their input? Like, what are they actually paying for? Netflix here, they're having to pay so many cents per, you know, streaming of a certain movie. And it's like, well, shoot, like, I guess, in my opinion, I could see YouTube, like, starting to have more movies, or starting to have something that, you know, and mimicking.
They've started having the, like, you can watch a movie free with ads.
They also have YouTube TV. Yeah, you can buy movies through there. They also have YouTube TV right now, which is a separate, like, platform. It kind of mimics what cable looks like and what
Yeah.
DirecTV looked like. I actually know a few families who have it, and I've seen it. Like the family I nannied over the past summer, they had YouTube TV, and it just has all these different shows, including kids channels. Judge Judy was on there, like all these different shows.
I can't count the amount of fake emails I've created so that I can like watch the Oscars one day,
Yep.
one year.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did last year, and I watched the Super Bowl. I just made a fake email account, signed up for a free subscription. Then the second the Super Bowl was done,
Yep.
I just canceled it,
Yep.
and I never thought about it again.
Or, I mean, YouTube could be like, no, I want to stay in our lane. We're doing great. We're, making money and
Yeah.
here.
It's the biggest platform ever.
Yeah, it's definitely one of
Like,
the biggest platforms.
Small YouTubers get more ratings, more like watches than like TV shows do.
Mm-hmm.
More people, when PewDiePie did a news section, more people watched that than any news organization combined.
And this might be wrong, but I think it's even with music when it comes to YouTube, don't artists get paid more if they're monetized compared to like Spotify?
Yeah,
I want to say they do, but I think
'Cause-
they get paid the
yeah.
most on like Apple Music.
because like Spotify, you don't like, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
You will always get that like 30th of a cent per play.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're like Madonna or just like some kid
Mm-hmm.
with GarageBand, you're gonna
Yeah.
make the same amount on Spotify. I think on YouTube it might be like tiered, but I wish that I was monetized on YouTube to make it bank.
The only thing that I can remember is like Taylor Swift, her getting upset that she wasn't getting paid for her music streams.
Yeah.
And I didn't read too much into it. I don't know much about it, but I didn't know if you guys have ever heard of like an artist becoming upset for not getting paid what they think that they're worth. And when you think about CDs and you think about, okay, like you have to go to Walmart, CDs were like $9.87, I believe.
Yeah.
You purchase that and then you own the CD, it could get scratched, you could have to buy another one. But, with the aspect that, heck, you could play it as many times as you want on your phone. And when they come out with, like the end of the year review of like what you've listened to,
I feel like I'm getting roasted every time they give me that.
they're like, you good, girl? Like, you played this one song like 1,000 times in a day. Like, you good?
Yeah.
I just feel like artists make money off of concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where the like concerts and merch is where they really make money. So the way I look at it is like Spotify is just like a couple extra bucks.
Yeah.
But like if you get like it's like 10,000 listens or something, you'll be making like 6 figures. It's something like that. Where like
I think it might be 100,000.
Yeah.
Not 10,000.
But it's
10,000,
like
I was like, shoot, that's not that
it's
hard.
it's like insane how much money you can potentially make.
Right. But I think that I brought him up last time we talked, but Travis Scott, I think that like his music gets a lot of streams, but most of his money, when you look at the merch he sells and the concert tickets and all that, it's so expensive that's where most of that money's coming from. And it makes me feel really bad for like small artists who can't tour right now and who don't have brands associated with them.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah, I bet.
It sucks.
So when you think about all the streaming platforms combined, like, do you see that there's going to be a change? I know that we've discussed about, paying for it or having, using someone else's passwords. Like, what do you think is going to happen, like, in the future? Like, do you think we'll just have streaming platforms? Do you think that cable will even be a thing? Do you think music and music and video, like, do you think that they'll go hand in hand? The same place where you'll find, like, a Travis Scott music video, you'll also find Grey's Anatomy or, those shows and movies. Do you think that there'll be, like, a joining of hands, or do you think they're going to stay in their own lanes, they're going to be separate, like, you won't see that coming together?
I think the closest we're gonna come to that is like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But like on I think it's on Paramount Plus, it has like MTV shows. And I feel like that's what like that side of YouTube is. it's our MTV, where like
Very
in the like 80s, like that's just where you went to, like you wanted to listen to good music, to new music, you went there.
Yeah.
But I think that most other streaming services are gonna die, and cable's been dying
ever.
Yeah.
Also, it's so high.
Yeah.
It is.
Like if you think about it, it's like what, $100 a month?
Yeah.
I don't have $100
And those
to
shows are like those shows
stupid.
are like expensive to
Yeah.
like make. I'm amazed that cable made it out of the 2010s.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be
Agreed.
honest.
Once Netflix came around and Hulu came around, I think Netflix and Hulu were like the pioneers of everything, with YouTube definitely helping. But I think that eventually cable will die. Radio, I'm holding out hope for. I think radio will be safe, even though there's a lot of music streaming, but I feel like it might still end up in the
I
same.
also hope radio's good.
Yeah.
I miss driving to school every morning and listening to my favorite man on the radio.
And I think that like radio, like not every single vehicle right now has an aux cord. Not all the phones are compatible with your car. And I also think like it's an opportunity to listen to things that you haven't heard before.
Right.
You know, it's on the radio. Like, and also like what are you supposed to play at a store? Like what do you play in Walmart, or what do you play? You know, it's usually a radio station. I mean, sometimes they have like a playlist on Spotify, and then they're like streaming some music. But heck, who is doing that work? Who is putting the new songs on there?
Yeah.
You know, who is trying to make something? But right now, what are you guys watching? What is your favorite go-to? What are you watching? What streaming service is it, and what shows?
So I just finished Breaking Bad like this weekend, and it was so good. And that was on Netflix. I'm a big Netflix fan. Breaking Bad, Black Mirror. I'm supposed to be starting The Queen's Gambit actually later this coming week. I have plans to start a new show, so I've been looking forward to that one.
I just rewatched The Queen's Gambit like a month ago on Netflix, and I've watched the first 2 episodes of The Sopranos on HBO Max, and that's obviously good because it like started, like if The Sopranos hadn't happened, Game of Thrones wouldn't exist, Stranger Things wouldn't exist. And I've been watching a lot of movies. This new movie every month on HBO Max is nice.
Really?
Like I love it. Judas and the Black Messiah was so good. It was so awesome. Godzilla vs. King Kong was so dumb and I loved it. Oh my god, what a good time. I just made some popcorn and they just watched, it was like action figures. It's like watching a kid in a bathtub with his action figures, just like smashing them together. What a good time.
That is hilarious. I remember watching, and it was a couple summers ago, my little brother, he wanted to watch, it was like Lava Tarantula, Tarantullava,
Lava Lantula.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh, we watched that, and I just remember thinking, this is so dumb. But
I was a big fan of the Sharknado movies when they were
All of
coming
the
out.
sci-fi movies where it was like Piranhaconda.
Sci-fi, if you're listening, put all of the Sharknado movies on any service and I will pay for it.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I think it's funny, you know, sometimes the, almost like, you know, we take life so seriously, and there's always going to be something that we're like this is draining me. Like, I just want to go somewhere where I can have fun, and I can imagine, like, you know, goofy things, like a shark battling a tornado. Like, that's dumb, but, like, could it happen? Maybe. Like, we never know, but...
That's why Godzilla is so popular still. Because it just appeals to, like, our, like, base need.
Yeah.
Just for something dumb.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun.
What about King Kong, like some of those as well? You know, what do you think about the mashups between like King Kong and Godzilla?
I think they're great. There's so much. The dumber, the better.
It appeals to the same audience, and because the same people who like Godzilla normally like King Kong.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a lot of very excited people watching those films.
Yeah, it's like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Like those 80s horror movies are so much fun because they're just so dumb.
Yep.
They're so dumb and bad, and that's why we all love them.
I also think like it's almost like, do you remember like on Nickelodeon or some of those shows where they'd have like a crossover and be like, okay, Jimmy Neutron is now, you know, in iCarly. I know that never happened, but you know, like swapping things around.
Yeah.
Now, movies aside, like if you never watched a film, like rationally, what do you think? Like, would it be Godzilla or would it be King Kong? Like, without watching whatever the movie, whoever won, like,
it's
really and truly, like, from your gut heart, like, if it was real.
It's gotta go to Godzilla, because Godzilla, like, spits, like,
yeah, I agree.
like, his, like, mouth, like, radiation laser comes out of his mouth, and Godzilla's just like a monkey. Like,
Godzilla is a monkey?
He's just like
King
a monkey.
Kong is...
Oh, yeah.
But King Kong also has the intellect of, you know, a smarter being.
Like, he's just like
but he can't shoot radioactive lasers.
Yeah. One of them's a dinosaur and one of them's like a monkey.
But monkeys have lived forever, and dinosaurs, I'm pretty sure they died out.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
But I feel like my guy Godzilla.
Okay, but King Kong couldn't shoot like a bazooka at it with like radioactive
Now,
materia.
If he had access to weapons, I feel like King Kong might be able to win one out for the mammals.
Yeah, like
But
I think if it's a hand-to-hand combat, Godzilla. If it's a weapons allowed, then definitely King Kong.
I mean, Godzilla, he has short arms, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean,
Kinda,
Can't really
yeah.
hold it.
Like if it was like a physical, no weapons thing.
solely just.
Yes.
And
Solely just-
they changed. I'm pretty sure they changed the size of King Kong because Godzilla's like a
Monster.
He's, like,
I mean,
huge
I remember
and-
Japan, you know, him like crushing it.
King Kong is like just like this on top of the Empire State Building, and I'm like, bro, you're so small. It'd be like me being like, I'm gonna fight Godzilla.
Well, maybe.
Like I'm gonna just plain old me. I'm gonna punch Godzilla to death.
But hear me out. I think size, that difference in size would actually work in King Kong's favor because if he's small, he's normally faster. He could like crawl up and then just like beat Godzilla's head.
Yeah, he climbed the Empire State Building. Why can't he climb Godzilla?
Yeah.
And if Godzilla's got like the lady in his hand, I feel like he's stronger.
What if King Kong just like threw a rope over his neck and was riding Godzilla now?
Yeah.
Right now.
I keep saying Godzilla and King Kong. It's so awkward.
That's alright. Okay, so obviously King Kong would win, but besides that. Okay, let's talk about your podcast a little bit. I know that you guys started it recently in the last couple of weeks. Now tell me about Jacob's Living Room. What was the aspirations towards it? And you know, what really like fired your cracker? Do you think it's just because it's pandemic, you're like, let's start a podcast, or have you always had this like feeling and want?
Well, actually started as a project for my audio class,
Oh,
but I
okay.
grabbed some friends. So Nick, who's here, Jacob, the owner of the living room, and our friend Zach, and we did it, and it was so fun. And our first episode we recorded was like 45 minutes long, but I had to shorten it to 15, which was really sad. But for the project, but like I realized, hey, this is fun. I love talking to my friends. Let's make this something more frequent.
Yeah. And I joined accidentally.
Yeah, he was like in the car with me.
No, yeah, I was just chilling with you at Culver's and you're like, do you want to record a podcast? And I was like, okay.
And then you said when, and I was like, in an hour.
Right now.
Solid.
More
Okay,
great.
let's go.
Yeah.
So, just what can you tell the audience a little bit about the content, what you see for the future, where they can find it, you know, just to listen.
So, content-wise, we talk about a lot of random subjects. Like our first episode was about business fronts. Our next episode is hot takes, which currently isn't out yet, but it'll be out soon.
She has some bad takes.
He has some bad takes too.
No, I don't.
We all
I'm
have
correct.
bad and good takes. We'll be talking a lot about just ourselves and our thoughts on different categories, subjects. We like conspiracy theories a little bit. We
do.
love film and TV. We love everything entertainment-wise, so that's where a majority of our stuff will be. Yeah.
It's honestly just a conversation between us.
Yeah.
Like, if the microphones weren't there, it'd be about the same.
Right, we'd have the same conversation.
It's just like a little shorter and probably like We get a lot madder at each other usually.
But you're like, okay, it's for the camera, so I guess we'll be
Yeah,
civil.
we gotta be nice. So I'll just call Zach dumb and stupid, and then that's the end of it.
We'll eventually add some guest stars in, which will be fun. But for right now, you can find us on Anchor or on Spotify as the Jacob's Living Room Podcast.
And I love the cover art that you guys had. Even though you said it was random, I still think it's pretty neat.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get my artsy friend to do a little logo for us eventually. Because I was going to do it, but I feel like I might talk to our friend Lizzie and see what's going on.
She should do it.
Yeah, she should.
Hopefully by now, she's done it.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hopping on and joining me in an episode of Golden Hour Drip. Where can people find you on social media? Do you have social media, or are you just straight,
So we
podcast?
just started an Instagram yesterday at the JLRP for Jacob's Living Room Podcast, and we're hopefully gonna start a Twitter up and running, just so that way we can update people on when different episodes are being released.
Okay, and then personally, do you guys have social media?
Yes, I'm. Everything for me is at grace.fug, F-U-G.
On Instagram, I'm Nick the Bomb, B-A-U-M, and on Twitter, I'm Nick is Lame. And if you want to listen to some music, John Bomber Live on Instagram and John Bomber on Spotify. Hit me up.
I will link all of their socials down below in the show notes. Also, Nick's name is not N-I-C-K. Is it?
It's N-I-K.
N-I-K. Such an
N-I-K.
iconic name, and I love that because I like Nick. It's like, he's so good. N-I-C-K. I almost said C-K. such a,
Yeah.
And then Grace, your last name is Fugate, and that's why it's Fug.
Yeah.
I like how you say, you pronounce your last name Fugate,
Yeah.
but you say it's Grace Fug.
Yeah.
Instead of
That was,
Fugue.
it was a nickname for me, like all throughout middle school. It was just Fug. So.
Hey, that's cute, that's neat. You're like, and I just think it's funny because you're like, it's Grace Fug, and I was like, in my head, I was like, is it Fugate? I was like, is that how you pronounce her name? I was like, interesting, maybe I said this wrong. Okay, so thank you guys again for hanging out with us and listening. If you enjoyed this episode, why don't you go ahead and share it with a friend who might need a little laugh, who doesn't believe that Netflix is, that great of a streaming service, maybe thinks that King Kong would definitely overpower, Godzilla, whatever it is. Be sure to tag us in your stories just to show us what you guys liked, what you didn't like. Maybe you just didn't like Nick, maybe not Grace. No, I'm just kidding.
I understand.
I'm just kidding, but thank you guys again so much for being on. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you, and yeah, we'll go from there. So until next time, bye!